PLC Network here at CES 2024. We are at the MSI booth next to Jordan, who we spoke with last year about some interesting things, including the flagship Titan with the first mini LED screen that was a monster of a laptop.
Yeah.
Powerful. This year you have a huge highlight at the show, which is obviously mobile gaming.
Yes.
You're competing with some of the other companies like the Steam Deck with a really cool handheld of your own.
Yeah, so we actually, this year, we're launching our first gaming handheld, which we call it the Claw. What's kind of different about this one, that this year that we're actually using Intel Core Ultra 7 processors inside. A lot of other companies and brands have been using mostly AMD products. And so we want to kind of branch us off a little bit different from them. And one of the biggest push for it, and one of the biggest feature that it actually has a Thunderbolt 4 connection. So you use that to charge everything, but at the same time, you can also connect it to any external docking station or any external devices that you want. But besides that, we also have a more ergonomic handheld grip design. So that kind of helps you with the long-term gameplay on those. And because we want to make sure that you're playing this like all the time, we actually have one of the largest battery that we could put in there, which is a 53 watt-hour battery. And inside, it actually houses what we call a hyperflow cooling design, which means that it has 2 fans and 2 heat pipes that actually pushes air internally before it actually releases the hotter outside, which kind of helps cool the system down a lot better. And also with the bigger ventilation, when you're actually playing these games for a long period of time, 2-3 hours at a time, it actually doesn't feel as hot in your hands, and it actually exhausts air to the top of the device.
Now, in terms of screen size and type, what are we looking at?
So currently, we are running a 7-inch 120 hertz FHD display, touchscreen display.
Okay, and going back towards the Thunderbolt connectivity.
Yeah.
So if, say, someone were to buy a external NVMe enclosure from a company like Hyper and put an NVMe in there, you'll be able to store your games and everything in there. It'll be able to pull right off that as part of your internal storage of the device, or are you limited to the storage, the internal memory of the device?
So for memory and storage wise, currently we do offer 512 gigs or 1 terabyte, and I believe our RAM can go up to 32 gigs. But besides that, external storage, I would say that we have a micro SD on top so that you can actually increase the storage itself. And I remember that we also have a Wi-Fi 7 chipset in there, so it's also not soldered on. So in the case that we have any newer Wi-Fi chips,
you can upgrade the Wi-Fi chip.
You can technically upgrade the Wi-Fi chips.
Now that's cool. That's something you don't commonly see anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's nice to hear. When it comes to streaming, what kind of services does it really have? Does it offer your typical, like, does it work with Steam, for example? Does it work with Game Pass?
Yeah, so good that you're asking this. So it's actually running on Windows 11 Home.
Okay.
So it's a Windows base. So you can put any launchers on it, and also it supports mobile gaming as well. So let's say you have Candy Crush or something on your phone. Same thing, you could play it on the Google Play. Yeah.
Okay, so Google Play, so you have access to it. It sounds like it's going to compete well with what's out there.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy when this comes out. Right now, we're skewed to have this available within the first half of the year.
Okay.
So it will be out very soon.
And what's the price point?
So right now, we have a few price points that we're trying to hit. At the MSRP, the available now would be with a Core Ultra 5 processor. That would be at $699.
Okay.
And then for a Core Ultra 7 processor with 512 gigs, it's at $749. And we also have a 1 terabyte version, which will be at $799.
Okay. So coming soon. Sometime this year.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's a powerful handheld device. Everybody's obviously been waiting to hear more about this, because it's always, there's not enough on the market when it comes to competition, but it's now becoming it's there.
It's getting there.
This year is the year that we're going to see that competition that's going to start driving each other, and it's nice to see something like this, really pushing that market.
Yeah.
Now, you have exciting things in other categories as well. Obviously, last year, like I mentioned, the Titan laptop was a flagship. It was awesome. It was a beast of a laptop. Now you have a new generation for that series.
Yeah, so this year we have the Titan 18 HX. So last year's generation we have a 17-inch model, but this time we upped most of our products with an 18-inch version. And one of the newest things that we're adding onto this, and it's one of the world's first 18-inch mini LED 4K 120 Hertz display. Besides that, it also has a new seamless RGB haptic touchpad, and also we still house the Cherry MX mechanical keyboard inside too. So you still have your mechanical keyboard, you still have like a really good display, and also the highest performing GPU and CPU out right now. And also we have one of the largest vapor chamber cooling systems in it too, to cool down every single thing that's inside.
And if it's anything like last year, if you actually ran it to its full extent, it pretty much hovers. There's so much airflow in that.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more ventilations that were coming out for this year's 18-inch models, and we also have like new cooling designs on it too.
So what, in terms of price point availability?
So I know that it is available now, actually.
Oh, perfect.
As term for price point, on top of my head, I can't really remember because there's a few different specs that we're going with.
Totally understandable.
So please look online.
So go to MSI's website for more information on pricing if you have any interest in that laptop. And of course, the handheld gaming, oh my gosh, that device just looks amazing.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see more in the claw myself. I might even get one.
Yes.
But you also have, it just keeps on going. You also have some new news when it comes to AI.
Yeah, so on the AI side, from all of our team members here, we actually have a few AI solutions that we're trying to do. One of the biggest things that we're focusing on is a MSI Center is actually integrated now with our AI engine. So what that kind of does is it depends on the scenario that you're playing. Let's say if you're working, entertainment, if you're gaming, it automatically switches your settings. So let's say if you're in entertainment, you want slightly silent fans, you want better speaker systems, so it'll turn up your speakers, and you want the best kind of visuals that you can see on the screen, so it'll help you turn up the brightness, and it'll help you adjust the resolution accordingly. But let's say if you are gaming, you might want to turn the screen just down a little bit so that you can have a little bit more dimmer so it's not too bright. Or if you want to turn on your RGB RGB keyboard, or if you want to turn up your fans so that it could consistently cool down the device as you play, that's also something that you can do. But besides that, we also are showcasing our AI Artist, which is one of the softwares that we are currently in the works of, which basically it can change from text to image and image to text.
And now that's something that's being integrated into some of the new models that are coming out, and in the near future, that might be something that anybody can download?
Yeah. So currently, we're still in testing to making it work, but hopefully when this is available, it will actually be on our website and anyone can download it.
Perfect. If you have MSI products.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
MSI
of course.
products.
You need compatibility.
Yes, compatibility.
So there's a lot of other exciting news coming from MSI. We get to talk to one of your other colleagues in a quick second here about something new when it comes to mesh networking and some new routing of cables with these new motherboards.
Right.
So let's go ahead and move over there and see what we can find out.
Yeah.
So now we're standing next to David here, and David has some interesting news when it comes to mesh networking and a new motherboard design that makes it a little bit easier to create a neat pathway for your cables so that they're not visually just in your face if you have a glass kind of setup on your case, so it looks neat. Let's start with the mesh networking. What are we looking at that's coming in? Now MSI is obviously getting the Wi-Fi 7.
Yeah, so these are our first Wi-Fi 7 routers that we will have. We hope to launch later this year. So these are 3 models. We collectively they're the Romy series. Here we have the Lite and the Pro and the Max models. They're all Wi-Fi 7, but it gets a little interesting because our Lite actually only broadcasts on the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz bands, while the other 2, the Pro and the Max, they actually broadcast on all 3, 2.4, 5, and 6. Wi-Fi 7 does not, require the 6 gigahertz band. It just requires certain technologies that allow for teaming of the bands together for increased bandwidth.
Yeah, more reliability. That's been a big thing for Wi-Fi 7. a more stable connection for devices.
Yes, because it can allow the device to smartly switch between 2.4, which is good for distances but is more prone to interference, or to the higher bands like 5 and 6, which are they can be more reliable when they're close, but they quickly lose their signal integrity when moving through across distance or through obstacles.
Yes. Since it's a mesh networking system, what are we looking at in terms of what a normal package is going to come with? Is it going to be just a two-piece system, a three-piece system?
This will actually, all three of these products here will actually come in, as for now, planned for two-piece systems and then also individual packs.
Yeah.
So for people who want, say for example, 3 mesh pieces, they will have to buy the 2-pack and then 1 more individual pack. We hope to announce more information when we get the Computex. We don't expect to have this product ready for launch within the first half of this year.
So it's nice to see MSI jumping into Wi-Fi 7. It's also not surprising. And we already knew that MSI was going to be heading into this direction and was taking it safely, since a lot of other brands have kind of jumped into the market pre-spec, before the final approvals were actually laid or made for Wi-Fi 7. So it's smart to make sure that, when the product launches, it's absolutely to spec.
For router, we need a little more time with it because we're very new to the networking product stack. So it'll take us more time. We actually do have Wi-Fi 7 products, just not in ways you expect. They're actually like the Wi-Fi chips on the motherboards.
Right.
As an example. But that's just something that comes from another supplier. So, but with having a native router, we are working the firmware in-house, but we need a little more time to work on that.
That's the same thing with the Claw. The Claw has a Wi-Fi 7 chipset in there.
Yes.
So yes, you're definitely making sure that you're starting this year off right, making sure everything's future-proof with modern technology. So this is exciting, something to really look forward to later in the year as these routers make it to the market. Now you also have one more exciting thing to talk about with this Project Zero in terms of cable management.
Yes. So we actually previously announced and revealed some Project Zero information at our previous Computex, which was Computex 2023. We showed the motherboards, we showed a prototype case. You can find some publications out there online that might show it. So the real news we have here at CES is we want to clarify the case compatibility and why availability has been put on hold for so long. It's just simply because when you have back connect motherboards, you require a compatible case. Because with a traditional case, a solid motherboard tray makes it impossible to use this new motherboard design. So we spent the time for the past half year refining our own case design and opening up the Project Zero specification to other case manufacturers actually. So here at the show, we have a few MSI cases, but at the end of our display table here, we have a couple system builders using cases from other companies. So this first one here is Corsairs, and this last one is Spantex. So the Corsair case was assembled by Origin, and the Spantex was assembled by Maingear. So it also shows that we're also opening up the specification to really system builders for them to adopt into their assembly process. So yeah, that's really the big thing that we are waiting for. I have heard from the case partners that they're actually not quite ready to announce availability and pricing on their end, but they have allowed MSI to show it here at the show to allow us to really clarify, like, yes, partners are on board. Project Zero we hope it has a future. That it's an ecosystem that everyone can participate in.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot more of this. It's nice to see this really taking place because it's just nice. With the current modern design of computer cases that we're starting to see, everything is all about the presentation. And when you have too many cables in your way, it's kind of hard to make a presentation. So now it's more of a focus on RGB light, cleanliness, and just overall color and format of how everything fits into a case, and having the ability to route those cables out the back versus out the front I mean, that's
It serves a functional use.
yeah, it does.
Yes.
You can't do it without that. So it's great to see more of that, and it also increases the options that people have when they're making custom cases, especially for anybody who's doing it online or anything for streamers, who wants to make really unique custom cases. This really gives them a lot more options to pick from. So for more information on those, everybody's going to want to go to MSI's website as well, including for the Mesh as mentioned, and the Titan, and the AI, and of course the Claw handheld gaming system, which is absolutely cool.
Yeah.
And once again, it's nice to see something like that. This is going to be a great year for mobile gaming. So, David, thank you so much. And as always, we can't wait to see what comes next from MSI.
Great. Thank you for having me.
If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.